everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now, before we get into this, I want to address a couple things. Number one, we're doing the mid-year freakout tag. Is it actually the mid-year yet? No. Do I care? No. Number two, I moved. So I can now tell you guys I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a very long 3-day, 25 hours of driving road trip to get here, but I'm now here in my new place. I am still getting settled. For now, thankfully, my long moving process is over. And then also, sorry if you guys hear background noise. I'm still trying to figure out like the sound. Anytime I move to a new place, it's like hard the first couple weeks to get the sound right with it not being echoey and then like not hearing background noise. With all that being said, I'm gonna be doing the mid-year freakout tag, and I'm doing it now because I have not read anything all month and I don't know if I'm gonna read anything else for the rest of the month. I'm in a huge reading slump. Moving will do that to you. So I was just like, you know, let's just do it. I saw one singular booktuber in my subscription feed post the mid-year freakout tag and I said, I am next. It is now time for me. So first up, best book of the year so far. I could not just pick one. I have 4 answers. There's no singular book that I've read so far that's like stands above everything else. Hopefully that book comes at some point, but there are 4 that are definitely my favorites of everything that I've read. So we have The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. No, Robert Bennett Jackson. What is it? I say it wrong every single time and people correct me in the comments every single time. And I always look it up. I can never remember. I'm sorry, he has 3 first names. He has 3 first names, it's too hard. Robert Jackson Bennett. Robert Jackson Bennett. I'm never gonna remember it. I'm sorry, I can't. Anyways, The Tainted Cup. Loved that book. That is a fantasy murder mystery, kind of Sherlock Holmes vibe. Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. That one, I think if I had to pick a favorite, it might be that one. That one is a kind of dark academia fantasy about like corruption and like stealing resources, stealing land, immigration. Like honestly, it's very current with things going on. Savor It by Tara DeWitt. That one is a romance that was so cute. Definitely my favorite romance of the year. That one is a like small town neighbors, they become friends and like have to fake date. It was so cute. I was obsessed with that one. And then more recently, A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexandra Rowland. This one is a very like political heavy fantasy book that is about a prince and his bodyguard and they fall in love. I would say the romance and then like the fantasy plot are like kind of 50-50. There's a huge like political storyline in that book. Those are definitely my favorites so far. Those were all just like so amazing. I was super obsessed. The next question is best sequel you've read so far. So definitely Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I loved Two Twisted Crowns. I liked it even more than the first book. Like the first book I enjoyed, but I thought was kind of like, it was okay, right? It wasn't amazing, it wasn't special, it didn't wow me. But book two I loved. And I think because she kind of switched who the main characters were in book 2, and I was far more interested in the new perspectives that we were following. And then also The Man Who Died Twice, which is the second book in the Thursday Murder Club series, which that's another one where like book 1 I read and I was like, yeah, it was good. It wasn't anything special, it didn't wow me, I gave it 3 stars. But the second book was so much better, so much better. The mystery was very interesting. I feel like the way that all of the perspectives and characters kind of like connected was so good. Oh, I just loved that one. Next question, this is one that I actually added to this. It wasn't in it, but I thought it should be, and that is worst book so far. And the worst book I've read so far this year, hands down, is Fool Me Once by Ashley Winstead. I didn't even finish it. I could not finish it. It was so bad. It's probably the worst romance book I've ever read in my life. Actually, you know how I have Sierra Simone in jail? I think I need to put Ashley Winstead in jail. I need to make an author jail now for authors who've pissed me off enough. Sierra Simone is in there. She's been locked up for a long time. Ashley Winstead, maybe I'll put her in for a night. She's in there for a 24-hour hold. Yeah, if you want to read a romance book where every character is the most insufferable character you've ever met, a couple who does not deserve happiness, a world where everyone cheats on everyone, then maybe try this romance out. Maybe if all that sounds great, then boy, is this one for you. Okay, next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to. I have two that I've just been dying to read, but like I said, I've been in a slump and I'm scared to read anything that I'm like super excited about while I'm in this slump. But I have The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. This one sounds so good. It's a medieval horror that takes place, I think, in a monastery where everyone is like locked in. There's cannibalism involved. It sounds so good. And then also Overgrowth by Mira Grant. This one is a sci-fi alien horror that sounds amazing. It's actually my book club book right now, so I do need to get started on it. Next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Three of them fit into this category that is lady nights. I have a hyper fixation right now on books about lady nights. I have a few already on my TBR, some that I've started reading. It's just like kind of all I'm thinking about right now, and there's a bunch that are coming out this year. So we have The Second Death of Locke, The Everlasting, and The Isle in the Silver Sea. Other than all these books being about lady nights, do I know what they're about? No, but I don't care because I just want to read so many books about sexy lady nights. Another one I'm really excited for is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. This is her, I think it's a Snow White retelling, and I love her fairy tale retellings, so I'm excited for that one. And then also Ladies in Hating. This one is a sapphic gothic historical romance that just sounds so good. The cover is also so cute. I don't know, I have a lot more. I have a whole like Goodreads shelf of books coming out this year that I'm excited about, so I'll link that below if you want to see. Like, I've got like over 100 books on there, but those are the ones kind of at the top of my mind. Next question is biggest disappointment. So this one's different from worst book. That's why I wanted to put the worst book on here, because these aren't books that I hated. Both of these books I gave 3 stars. I was just expecting more. So A Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft. This one I thought would be so perfect for me. Like, it just sounded amazing. Like a sapphic fantasy, rivals to lovers, dark academia, folklorist, going on an expedition for this like magical thing. Like, it just sounded amazing, and it just really fell short for me, particularly in the world building. And then the other one is The Narrow by Kate Alice Marshall, who, this is the 4th or 5th book I've read from her, and I've, for the most part, enjoyed all of her books. This one, I just didn't really care for that much. It's also about ghosts, and something I learned recently is I don't actually like ghosts. But what kind of killed it for me was the ending. The ending, in my opinion, was horrible. This one I actually gave 2 stars. The Dark and Drowning Tide I gave 3, and then The Narrow, the ending pushed me down to a 2. And I think that one was just super disappointing, like I said, because I love Kate Alice Marshall, and I always kind of save her books for when I want something fun that I'm gonna love, and they usually fit that, but this one did not. Okay, biggest surprise definitely has to be The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. I loved that book, and I was not expecting to, because I read another book by her, Juniper and Thorn, which takes place actually in the same world as The Wolf and the Woodsman, but that book was okay. It was another 3 stars. Like, it was just fine. So I wasn't expecting to love this one this much, and I kind of wish I had read this one first. I think if I had read it first, maybe I would have liked Juniper and Thorn more. It's basically about this fantasy world where the king needs sacrifices from these pagans every year. So the woodsmen go to the village and take this year's sacrifice, and it ends up being the main character. And so as they're traveling in the woods, there's all of these monsters, and her and the like captain of the woodsmen need to rely on each other to survive. And it was just so good. Like, something that Ava Reed does really well is blending fantasy and horror, because there was some really like horrific horror scary creatures in here. But yeah, that was a very big surprise. I loved that book. Okay, next question is favorite new author. So for me, a qualification of a favorite author is an author that I have read and loved at least 2 books from. It has to be multiple books. So there are 3 new authors who have like bumped up into favorite author territory. That is Amala Motar, who wrote This Is How You Lose the Time War, one of my all-time favorite books. I recently read The River Has Roots. That's actually one of the only books I've read this month, and I loved that book. That one is a fae realm book about sisters. The whole like magic system is around grammar and like words and riddles and songs, and it's really cool. Then Abby Jimenez has moved up because I read Yours Truly this year and loved it. 5 stars, so good. And then also Tara DeWitt. Those are all 3 authors who are reaching favorite author status because I have read and loved 2 books from all of them. Newest fictional crush, I only have one, and surprisingly it's a man. Jump scare, but it's Jacob from yours truly. I just loved him. I loved him. It's very rare that I read a romance book and I like really love the hero. Usually I'm there for the ladies, okay? But I love Jacob. I think I related to him a lot, and I think he's definitely what made that book so special for me. Specifically when it came to like his anxiety rep, I was like, wow, am I Jacob? Newest favorite character, the whole Thursday Murder Club gang. I love all of them. They really, really shined in the second book. Then also Anna from The Tainted Cup. Love her. I almost put her in fictional crush, but I feel like I can't tell if I want to be Anna or if I love her. It might be both, okay? She's favorite character and crush. A little bit of both, okay? Another question that I added was favorite couple. So I have 3 favorite couples. First, we have Elm and Ione from Two Twisted Crowns, because like I said, I loved them so much more than Raven and Elspeth. I think those are their names. Then Sage and Fisher from Savor It. They were so cute, obsessed. And then Cadeau and Evermer from A Taste of Golden Iron. They actually might be my favorite. Of all these 3 couples, I think Cadeau and Evermer are my favorites. I was just obsessed with them. Their whole slow burn, angsty dynamic. There was a lot of caretaking. Ugh, it was just so good. A book that made you cry. I think there's only one book this year that has actually like made me sob, and that is Blood Over Brighthaven. That book did emotional damage, like so much emotional damage. I was sobbing for a really long time. So then a book that made you happy is definitely A Taste of Golden Iron. That book, I was just like kicking my feet, giggling the entire time that I read it. And then the last question is, what books do you need to read before the end of the year? And I think my answer to this is any books. I would just like to be reading a book. Like this is probably the worst reading slump I've ever been in my life. I cannot get myself to pick up a book. I can't. So what books do I need to read by the end of the year? Any, literally any. I just want to read one. So that was the mid-year freakout tag. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content. I have a lot of moving content up over there right now and more that will be coming. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out over there. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.